Actually, at some point, I might test the FCC limits with the way that college football coaches are whining today. Can we send boxes of copium to various schools so they can cope harder with the state of name, image, and likeness? Every year, coaches find a new way to be mad about why a guy didn't show up. You know, even Ryan Day at Ohio State is going through it, folks. Ryan Day, Ohio State head coach, on recent decommitments in the program, Day says there was a time when other schools stopped recruiting players after they committed, but that isn't the case anymore. Quote, "It's the way things are going. We just have to adapt." Buddy, who did you take over for?
The king of stealing. Mr. Steal Your Recruit.
Urban Meyer brought it to the Big Ten. You know who you sound like? You sound like Barry Alvarez in 2003. When did Urban Meyer get there?
Oh, no, it was 13, 14.
13, 14. You sound like Urban Meyer 10 years, or you sound like Barry Alvarez 10 years ago when Urban Meyer showed up and he said the same thing. Dude!
Well, Mac was saying, too, today that there were some players that they had at Carolina, Mac Brown, that there was recruits they had, but, you know, because of NIL, other schools came in, pretty much offered them more money, and they ended up decommitting and going somewhere else.
Are they saying that Carolina cannot compete with money?
I asked you this question previously.
Yeah.
Because I told you what happened during basketball with Matthew Meyer, the big recruit from Baylor, the transfer from Baylor. Because remember, last year, UNC went into the portal and got Brady Manick, okay? Because Brady Manick wanted to go play for a good school. How old-fashioned. This year, Brady Manick helps them get to the national championship, right?
Yeah.
And you're thinking, well, what we really need is a 6'9" white guy who can shoot. Give me Matthew Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
Mayer says to all teams interested, $800K is the price.
Yeah.
That's the asking price.
Go contact your people.
And Carolina said, listen, we got guys like Armando Bacot who are cashing in on NIL because they are Carolina basketball players. You are welcome to come here and make money on NIL, but we're not going to give you $800 to walk in the door.
Right.
So I had asked you in football, how is this going to work? How is this going to work? Because you know the thought process from Bubba Cunningham and Boo Corrigan and Nina King is all very similar, right? Mm-hmm. NC State this year in basketball, they had to pay Terquavion Smith to come back to school. He had no leverage, mind you, because he didn't put his name in the portal. He put his name in the NBA draft, but they paid him to say, we're going to play the game.
Yeah.
But it wasn't 800. It was closer to 300, 400,000. Still nothing to sneeze at, right?
Right.
But now you're looking at Devin Leary and you're going, well, why did you go to Kentucky? And I told you this when he got hurt. He had a chance to make more than $500,000. Kentucky's offer, I'd been told from a good source, $800,000.
It's pretty good.
That's a pretty good chunk. My question then, and my question still now is, are our schools, our ACC schools, not named Louisville, Florida State, and Clemson, going to be willing to play the NIL game? Are they going to be willing to do that at that tippy-top level?
No.
Okay.
They're not.
And don't kid yourself yesterday with that Drake May news. Okay?
Oh, I'm not kidding
Not
myself.
you. Others.
Oh, okay.
Because Drake May is a one-of-one unicorn. All right? Family connection at the school. His dad, his brother, grew up here. Carolina lifer, okay? And he's also he is 1 year away from being either the number 1 or number 2 pick overall in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
So he has a $35-40 million payday waiting for him. So while, yes, it is still noble and admirable that he turned down $5 million.
Well, we don't know if it was $5 million.
I can believe that Drake May was worth, to either Georgia or Alabama, I can believe that he was worth multiple millions. I can believe that. Yes,
I can believe all of that stuff. But what we're dealing,
but in any other circumstance with Drake May,
yeah,
that person leaves. Okay,
I agree with you, but you also said he's a unicorn in the same way that there's only so many guys in college football who are worth that amount of money.
Correct.
So if we take Pat Narduzzi's word for what it is, the Pitt head coach went on a radio station yesterday and said, "Oh man, I heard 2 schools offered him $5 million." Pat Narduzzi's probably upset for 2 reasons. One, man, I had this happen to me last year with Jordan Addison.
I lost my best player.
I lost my best player to Southern Cal because of name, image, and likeness. And you're telling me that a player can make as much money as me? Because Pat Narduzzi's clearing around $5.5 million.
I think he's up to 7.
Is he up to 7 now? Regardless, that's head coach money.
I know.
That's mid-level head coach money in the ACC for a player. And you know what? Drake May's absolutely worth it. But here's my problem. Here's my ultimate problem with what's going on. The messages might be different, but the point is the same. Coaches love to scold you when you're getting into speculation. They don't know anything. What are they? You can't believe everything you hear now. You can't believe everything you hear. That's the noise.
Did you call Bill Parcells?
That's the noise. Yeah.
Did you call Andy Reid?
You're making fun of Shane Beamer, the South Carolina coach, who got mad because
Did you call the ghost of Vince Lombardi?
That was questioning his offensive coordinator hire. But coaches will love to scold you on this stuff.
Correct.
Okay? Rat poison, man. Rat poison. Nick Saban. What did Mac Brown do Monday? Basically engaged with the open speculation. I'm not going to tell you who, but I'm going to let you all figure it out. Well, you just engaged in that speculation. Pat Narduzzi going on a radio show and just dropping willy-nilly $5 million with no actual backup because we don't know. Nobody's ever going to know.
Like rat poison.
All right. What did Pat Narduzzi do? Did the exact thing that they scold fans and media for doing when it comes to speculation. You can't have it both ways. You also have to understand that we're not idiots anymore. All right. We're way more informed of how the game is played these days, that you can't get over on this kind of stuff. When Ryan Day talks about, well, it used to be a time when guys committed, you'd stop doing it. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, because you flip guys too. And in the case of name, image, and likeness, one of my bigger pet peeves is that we're under this impression as though, well, guys come here for the right reasons. There's an insinuation. There's an insinuation that by going somewhere else because the NIL deal was better, or they couldn't compete in that regard, in some form or fashion, it's kind of saying, well, if they were truly passionate about the program, if they really wanted to be here, if they were about that life, well, then they wouldn't have worried about how much money they were going to go get. Which gets back to your original point about somebody like Drake May. Because Drake May doesn't have to worry about name, image, and likeness.
He'll still make money next year, and just not at the same level that he would have if he put his name in the portal and made himself available to the highest bidder.
But he doesn't need to.
Does not. No.
Because why should he? He's got NFL money waiting for him. He's taken care of.
He's also in a very good situation at Carolina that he's comfortable in.
Exactly. This is not like Drake May, or not like Devin Leary, former NC State quarterback, who might make more money at Kentucky than he ever would have on an NFL roster had he decided to go to pro. So these are things to consider.